Hi, good evening, figures. Hope all of you can hear me. Hey guys, can you please confirm, guys, is I'm audible?
Yes, we are able to hear.
Right, guys. So guys, with the last session, we have been done with some the basic discussions regarding like what is going to be the machine learning, what is data science, what are the different techniques and what are the different methodologies we have to learn, and how to implement those things, like how to implement the applications actually, how to implement all the techniques and methodologies. So by using some kind of a language like Python, and yesterday I have been just clarified some of your questions, like technical questions, like what exactly our course curriculum contains, like how the schedules or how the access to that particular the materials and all these things. So I have just clarified all your questions actually. So hope everything has been got clarified. So from today onwards, we are going to start with some introduction part. So first we have to start with the basics of Python actually, guys. So first we have to learn some basic concepts of Python. And after that, so 2 weeks, guys, 2 weeks, we are going to learn the Python. And after that, we'll go into the modules which are related to the Python modules, what we are going to be discussing about that. So that is what is our actual plan of discussion, guys. Okay, fine. So I think, so very few people has joined for the today's class, right? Yes, Venkatesh, is today's your first class?
Correct. Actually, I want to know. So, do we need complete Python to learn data?
No. So a core Python, as I was saying that, no, just a 2 weeks core Python. It's only core Python concepts are required. Core Python means just like a basic types, and we have some basic sequences, how to write the conditional if statement for statements, and just to know about something like an what are functions concepts. That's it. Just 5-6 topics will be there. If you learn that, that is going to be sufficient, Venkatesh.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think even Naveen Kumar, right? So Naveen, is today's your first class or have you joined earlier?
Yeah, first class.
First class. Okay. So just a basics, that means just a 3-4 classes. It's hardly 3 classes only. That too, not the actual concepts also. It is just it's just like a discussion, just 1 hour discussion. Yesterday, I just taken some questions from the participants actually. So nothing has been got started. So today also, I'm just starting with some basics of Python, some introduction of Python only. I'm going to be discussing about that. I think Navneet, I think this you are also the today is a first session. Navneet, have you joined earlier?
Yes, actually I joined before, but I was late.
Okay, fine. Okay. Anurag, I think you are a Power BI student, right, Anurag?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Fine. Right. So guys, today we are going to start with some, not with the main course curriculum only, but we are going to start with the first prerequisite, which is going to be the Python. So just today, I'm going to start with some introduction part of the Python, and we are going to be learning about that. So nowadays, Python has been became a common, which is a common skill which everybody is preferring to learn. So independent of the technology, independent of the domain, independent of the specializations, everyone, it's not only for the IT professionals or only who are into the software, even who are towards the non-IT professionals also, they are learning the Python actually. Just like we can say how the Excel is a common skill everybody requires. So Excel is not an which is going to be a not, it's going to be not a software, it's a maybe a software, but it do not, it does not say that the Excel is going to be used only by the IT professionals only, isn't it? Even a non-IT professionals also, they uses the Excel sheets. Nowadays, Excel also has been become a very powerful tool actually. Now, everyone who is working in IT, non-IT, everybody should have some, at least they will be using the minimum skills on the Excel sheets that is going to be gets required actually, isn't it? Same as it is, the Python also has been nowadays, it has been become a common skill to everyone, even even for a IT and as well as non-IT professionals. Everybody is using it. Everybody is learning Python. Everybody is at least having, everybody, if you talk to anyone, everyone is saying that yes, we have some knowledge of Python. Somebody has already learned some Python. Some of you may not be have been learned the Python, but at least we have been seeing some basic features of the Python actually. So one of the basic reason why the Python is, why everybody is preferring to learn Python, why everybody is preferring to use Python actually, guys. I'll tell you about the complete history about that. So the first point we want to discuss it actually, guys. Python is a language, okay? You say that it is a programming language, which is very, very easy to learn and which is going to be very easy to use. Python is a language, which is one of the programming language it is, which is going to be very easy to learn and very easy to use. Anybody can learn, anybody can use. I'll tell you like the history of Python, and once I discuss about the history of Python, then you may understand some few points regarding this actually. But as of now, it is one of the language which we can see. It is a very simple language which everybody can learn, anyone can learn, and anybody can use it actually. Let me talk about who uses this particular Python. Who uses Python actually, guys? For whose purpose the Python is used actually, guys? Who is going to be uses the Python? So don't think that only the IT professionals only will use the Python. Everyone who is independent of IT or non-IT, they will be using. Let me tell you about that. Who uses the Python actually, guys? Absolutely. Which is going to be, I'm telling about some of the people or who are going to be the experts who are going to be users actually. Who uses Python actually? Yes. So anybody who is into the application development actually, guys. We can say that application developers. Application developers means we know that, no, guys, like our business applications, the business, whatever the business applications we are having, it may be a kind of an, nowadays most of the applications are web-based application, guys. Web-based and mobile-based, mostly we are going to be using it actually. So the application developers, so which kind of an application developers actually, guys? It may be a web applications or it can be mobile applications. So a kind of an UI based applications, they are going to be developing with the help of that particular Python. So application developers who are into the web applications or mobile applications or a desktop applications, so even some kind of an gaming applications also, guys, even it is going to be a gaming applications, etc., those people are using, those kind of a developers are using or prefer to using this particular the Python language. So application developers means there may be some programmers, some it may be some kind of a Java programmers, or it may be some other programmers. They're preferring to learn the Python and they're preferring to use the, which is going to be the Python in their application development. Even gaming applications, guys. Even most of the, some of the gaming applications we find in the mobile and all these things, they have been got developed with the help of the Python itself. But it is not only the application developers actually, guys. Even the second category, if we talk about them, which is going to be some kind of a networking engineers also actually, guys. The networking engineers means who are going to be working on the networks, who are going to be, I can say that they are going to be working on some kind of a socket programming they will be using actually, guys, because Python supports. So Python supports web development. Python develops, using Python, I can develop mobile applications. Using Python, I can develop some gamings. Using some Python, I can do some kind of a network protocols and network applications, whatever the network related securities, all these things I can do it with the help of the Python. It is going to be gets using. That's why even the networking engineers, like our network engineers or even hackers. So you know that hackers are going to be mainly they will depend only on the socket programming. they depend on the socket programming, network level configurations, network level hackings. Okay, all these things, network level crashing of the networks, all these there are going to be uses with the help of the socket programming. They will be uses actually. So application developers like web application, mobile applications, etc. Networking engineers or hackers. So they will be using some kind of a socket programming. They will be uses. They're preferring to use a Python. Not only this actually, guys, even some kind of a mathematicians and statisticians. So which are going to be the maths and which is going to be the statistics experts actually, guys. There are going to be the maths and statistics experts. So they are also using they're also preferring to use the Python. Specifically, these guys actually, guys, maths and stats experts. Generally, these maths and stats experts, they don't prefer to use any programming languages. They use as computers, but maximum they will be using only up to Excel only. Maximum, if you ask a mathematician or statistician to use a programming language or to learn some software, they don't prefer to learn it actually. They will reject it actually. So generally those people mostly depends only on the Excel sheets actually. Up to now, the maths and statisticians, the people, they mostly used to depend on the Excel sheets only. They used to depend only on the Excel sheets only. They used to depend it actually. But now, as part of the current situations, even the mathematicians and statisticians who are completely non-IT professionals, they are also learning the Python. So what I mean to say is that much easy the particular Python is there. So my main point of discussion is the Python is a very simple and a easy language, such a way that anybody can learn it, even a non-programmer who are not into the IT at all. Mathematicians, statisticians, they're completely non-IT professionals, we can say that. They don't know, they don't prefer to use they don't prefer to use any programming languages. Maximum extent they will learn Excel, but now they are preferring to learn some languages like Python and R. These are some of the languages these particular mathematicians are preferring to use. Why? Because Python supports all mathematical calculations, all that particular statistical numbers, all the statistical analysis, all these are going to be supported by this particular Python. Python supports, guys, Python supports all mathematical related operations, statistical related operations, or statistical related analysis, all those things, even linear algebra, Fourier transforms, so many things actually, guys, quantum computing, all these are going to be supported by this particular Python. That's why maths and statisticians are using it actually. Not only these guys, even so many domain experts who are going to be the domain experts actually, guys, different domain experts, different domain experts are going to be using. Mostly they will be using mostly for basically for their particular research analysis and their particular research data. They are going to be using this particular Python actually. So like for example, an expert, let us say a scientist who is going to be working in some kind of an physics or chemistry, they are going to be using it actually, guys. They are completely depending on this programming language like a Python. See, different people there are using. It's not like an only one kind of a people. So programmers, IT professionals are using, some kind of an hackers, their work is different. Okay, mathematicians and statisticians, their work is different. A domain experts like who are going to be expertise in the different domains. Even some kind of doctors, medical related, who are going to be related to that particular medical related, even those are also learning this particular Python actually. Because almost all every domain, every expert is going to be drawing the powerfulness of the Python actually. Everyone is using it actually, guys. And finally whatever the role we are talking about, which is going to be data science, which is going to be the data science, machine learning, AI experts, they are also going to be using this particular Python actually. So almost all everyone, whatever may be the domain, so even a statistician, mathematician, statisticians, okay, even the hackers or domain experts, even the application developers, okay, data science and AI related ML experts, AI ML experts, everyone is going to be using the Python. Why? Because what is the reason for that? Python is not designed or Python is not developed to satisfy only a specific group of people, or it's not designed only to satisfy the requirements of only for a specific domain only. They have been not satisfied. They're not designed. So they call it as, the Python creators call it as, Python is a general purpose language. The Python is going to be a general purpose language. It is designed for, it is not specifically designed only for a specific purpose. It can be used by anybody for any purpose. We can use it. It can be used by anyone, for any purpose it can be used. So that is one of the second feature what we are going to be gets calling it as about the Python actually. So Python is a general purpose language which can be used by anybody for any purpose, which is very easy to learn and which is very easy to use. That's it. And one more thing actually, guys, we are just I'm currently talking about some of the features, whatever that particular features or advantages which Python is going to be providing. What are going to be the technical aspects, that also I'll discuss it actually, guys. Technical wise, it is not mandatory to go in deep into the Python. Even myself, I was an expert in data science, AI, ML. I can implement all those AI, ML related applications with the help of a Python. But I was not in Python expertise. I was not a Python expertise. If anybody asks me some in deep about the Python, I can't answer it. I can't answer it, guys. Why? Because I know the Python only up to the extent whatever that is required for implementation of our machine learning. You ask me some questions on machine learning, I can answer it. But if you ask me some questions in Python, I can't answer them. Why? Because because it is going to be the Python is going to be not my expertise actually. Yeah. Please guys, please don't mind. Just give me a minute. I'll be back. I just got some important call. I'll be back. Just give me a minute. Yeah, guys. Yeah, sorry guys, I just got an important call. Right. So it is a general purpose language which can be used by anybody, which can be used for any purpose. That is the reason why the Python has been becoming that much popular in the as part of the real implementations. It's not only for real implementation, guys, even for the self implementations also, there are going to be using this particular Python actually. So as we are talking about the technical aspects, so don't think that you will become a Python expert once you complete this particular course. You need not to become you can't become a Python expert with my Python classes, guys. Why? Because is whatever the Python that is required up to the machine learning and data science related concepts, up to that extent only I will be discussing about those particular Python. So it's very small, it's a very small part, guys. Only for 2 weeks I'm going to be teaching you. Okay, that too only the basics, that is whatever the required, only those particular part only I'm going to be taking care about that. Okay, in the case if you want to become an expert, you have to know the internals, memory allocations, object or up to some extent object oriented, but what are how to create a class and all these things are not going to be required, guys. Just a basic knowledge of Python is going to be required. Okay, so don't expect that we will be getting more and more Python knowledge and more Python expertise after this particular class. Okay, so very easy to learn, and who is going to be uses, being it is a general purpose language, anybody can use it for any purpose, we can use it. Okay, let us, before going to the next discussion, let us try to understand the history about them, guys. It is always good to learn. It is always good to learn. It's not good to learn, good to know what is going to be the history. So how it came into the existence. So how it is came into the existence, who is the author of that? Okay, why, what is the necessity it has been came, who are the different contributors of that? So you have to know about those particular, the history is always when you learn any programming language, always we have to know like who is the person, who the mind behind that particular the tool or the software or the framework. And apart from that, like how that at what year it has been came. It is always good to know about that, guys. So let us come to the history, guys. Let us come to the history about that. So coming to this particular history, the Python has been started actually in the last, maybe I can say that 7-8 years. From the last 7-8 years, the Python, we have started hearing about the Python. Before that was there, but we don't know that much about that. Why? Because Python was not that much success in the beginning initially. Even we know that we have so many languages are there, but every language immediately they will does not become say popular immediately once they have been got invented or once they have been got developed it actually. So the Python has been started around in the year 1990s, guys. 1989, 1990s it was started actually around in 1990s. But what made this particular the what made this particular Python is to come into the existence actually, guys. So a team of people has been developed. They have a plan to develop a language. They want to develop a language which is going to be very simple for the developers. They want to develop a language which is going to be very simple for the developers. So they have developed a language called as an ABC is a language they developed actually, guys. There was a language called as an ABC. That language was basically what type of language it is. They want to make everything to be simplified for the developers. So they find it like which is going to be what are the main what are going to be the main complications that people are facing while working with these languages. They want to make it everything simplified. They want to make everything to be simplified. So what they did is they have developed a language called as the ABC is a language what they have been got developed. But due to some technical reasons, this ABC was not released into the market. It was not actually released. It is not released outside. It was only restricted only up to their particular lab, and only they have been done some development was done, but it was not really used. Inspired from this particular language, a person called as Rossum. This Rossum is also the one of that person team. Actually, his complete name is going to be Guido von Rossum. His not complete name is going to be. He's in one of the Dutch programmer. So he is going to be the mind behind that particular, the brain behind this particular the Python actually. So in short, we call him his Rossum. Okay. But actually his name is going to be the Guido von Rossum. His actual complete name actually is a Dutch programmer. So I think he's from Netherlands and he was a Dutch programmer. So the Rossum is also one of the team, one of the member of this particular team who has developed this ABC. And inspired from this particular language, this person Rossum has been written this particular language called as the Python. So Rossum is the person who is the author, who is going to be the author of this particular language called as the Python actually. It was written by the Rossum. But later onwards, it was not only the Rossum, he was actually initiated, but there is a lot of contribution, guys. So today, the Python was very, very popular. See, in almost all in AI related applications, they are using Python. So there are so much contributions actually, guys. There are so much contributions are going to be there. So that's why what being it is actually contributed by many experts across the world. They are not maintained as a company. That means they are not as a part of a company. So there are going to be part of a community. So they says that we are a community because they are going to be open sources. They don't they are not going to charge any money from you to use the Python actually, but because Python is an open source. I'll tell you what is meaning of an open source and all these things. So basically it was written by Rossum. The framework has been got written, the base system. But after that, it has been contributed by many other communities across the world. So there are so many contributors are there. So really the Python has become this much popular as of now is a contribution from many experts and many domain experts and many communities across the world actually, guys. That is what about this particular history about that. And I think by this time, all of you have got to know about the name. There is going to be a funny story behind the name called as a Python. So generally, we all of you know that whenever we say Python, when you hear a name Python or the word Python, immediately that what comes to our mind. When I said Python means the main thing that comes to your mind is going to be the huge snakes that we are going to be find. Yeah. Please don't mind, guys. Just give me a minute once. I can got a call. Just give me a minute. Yeah, right, guys. Yeah, sorry, guys. I just got a call. Fine. So the name Python actually, guys, even still nowadays also, when you see some any kind of in books, which are going to be some kind of a books on the Python, you can see some kind of in the same Python symbol, the Python, the whatever the particular Python figures, all these things are going to be gets plotted actually. They will print that particular Python figures only on that particular on the top pages actually. But actually the name Python has been nothing relevant to that particular the snakes actually, guys. So actually there is some kind of a funny story behind that actually. So this Rossum, he is one of a fan of a TV show. The name of that particular TV show is going to be Flying Circus. It is going to be the name of the TV show is going to be Flying Circus. So which was directed by a team or directed by a particular the team who was a name called as in Monty Python. So his name is Monty Python. So the name of that particular TV show is also Monty Python Flying Circus. The name of the TV show is also going to be it's a Monty Python Flying Circus is going to be the actual name of that particular TV show actually. So now the what has been happened here is which is going to be the one what we can see the he being is a Rossum is a fan of this particular TV show. He has been taken this name called as Python from the particular person. It's the name of the person actually, guys. Monty Python. He is a director. He's one of the crew member of this particular the TV show director actually. So he has taken that particular name Python and he has been got to use it, this particular name as a Python actually. So that is the one what this particular the name behind this actually. Like that, there are so many funny stories are there. Even there is some other name like called as an Apache Hadoop. So even the Apache Hadoop also, there is actually small funny story behind that actually. So just a small, it is only for our knowledge purpose. It is always good to know everything, which is going to be everything that is happening. Generalize the topics, guys. So it's not that you are learning data science means our concentration is only on the data science. In and around what is happening, always it is always good to have the knowledge about the other things also. We should know about that. So we know that Apache Hadoop, guys, which has been brought a complete technology change actually, guys. So nowadays you are using all that kind of a distributed file storages, all that particular cloud storages has been came. It is always, it is the main, the reason behind them is the big data Hadoop actually. It is one of the big data system actually, guys. Nowadays all the Google file systems, all these things is going to be depending on this based on the Hadoop architectures only. So Apache Hadoop. So it was also developed by a person called as a Doc Cutting. His name is going to be Doc Cutting. So he has been he is also the same. He is mainly the reason behind that particular development of this particular Apache Hadoop. But what is the name actually? What is that particular name? Initially, they have been named it as an which is going to be Nutch. The actual project name is Nutch. So they used to call it as Nutch Distributed File System. So Doc Cutting's son, he used to play with a toy. His son used to play with a toy. The toy is going to be the elephant toy. He used to play with that actually. It's an elephant. Even if you see the big data, if you see that particular Hadoop big data, you will see like a toy elephant, you are going to see that actually. So the Doc Cutting's son, he used to play with a toy. It's a stuffed elephant called as a toy. And he used to work with that. He used to play with that actually. So the toy name is going to be Hadoop. So it has been taken that particular name actually. It's a toy name actually. Hadoop is a toy name. His son's toy name is going to be Hadoop. Here the Python is going to be the name of the director who directed this particular the TV show called as an Flying Circus. It is like a web series, a comedy show. It is going to be a comedy show. It's a British, an English comedy show actually, which was aired around 1969 to around 1974. It was aired in the television actually, guys. It's a British, what we can say, comedy show actually. You can find it. I think it is there in the Netflix also. So if you want, you can search in the, which is going to be Monty Python Flying Circus. If you search in the Google, you are going to get it actually. It is a Monty Python Flying Circus. This is going to be the TV show, what we can see it actually. You can see Monty Python Flying Circus. There is a Wikipedia page is also there. You can see it there. You can see there actually, guys. So you can see it is created by, these are the different people who has been created, written by Monty Python. These are all the different crew members. So written by, which is going to be Monty Python, is one of the member of the team. It was aired during 19, which is going to be 69 to 1973 and 1974. It was aired actually. So even the history is also there actually. Monty Python Flying Circus is a sketch comedy show actually. Even there is an the information about that Python is also there actually. If you see there, you can find it off. So the Rossum has been named that particular the language as which is going to be the Python, which is going to be what you can see it there actually. So like this. So that is some, it's going to be a funny story behind like why this particular Python has been, it has been got named it as a Python actually. It is nothing to do with the snake. It is completely, it is it is going to be the name that it has been got taken actually. So that is going to be about this particular one. So it is good to know. It is always good to know about like some history, what we are learning and all these things. So why the name Python has came, it was started in 1990s only. But after that, it has been, initially it was very with a small limited functionalities only. But later a lot of contributions has been gotten actually, guys. So it is a easy to use and easy to learn language. And who uses the Python? Everyone, for any purpose it can be used. So mainly inspired from a language called as an ABC. And their main target is to make the development part very, very easy. There is a main, what is the reason behind or what is the main objective behind the development of this particular Python language actually. So once if you look at the other features actually, guys, the other features, if you see that one of the main feature, if you can see, is it is an open source language. It is an open source language actually, guys. Python is an open source. Maybe all of you have an idea about what do you mean to say an open source actually. But some people think that open source means it is a free to use. Free software is different. Open source is a different actually, guys. What do you mean to say free software? What do you mean to say free software? You know, what do you mean to say free software? Free software means nothing but the software or the language, whatever it may be, we can use it at a free of cost. We can use it at a free of cost, but we can't make any changes. You cannot make the changes to that particular code. We cannot distribute. That means you cannot sell it to some other client, or we cannot sell it to the other customer. We cannot sell it actually. That is what it is, what we are going to be doing this actually. But what do you mean to say open source means? Directly they will share you the source code to you. Directly, they says that the Python community says that we are not giving only the executable code. So if you talk about Microsoft or if you talk about Google products, maybe there are going to be free to use, but we can't make any changes to that software. Like for example, if you open a notepad, maybe a notepad is going to be, when I'm talking about a notepad is going to come along with which is going to be the Windows only. So, but let us say that it's a part of our Windows only, but we can't make any changes to this particular application. For example, we have a file menu, edit menu, view menu. If I want to add another menu option here now, I can't add it. Why? Because it is licensed to Microsoft. We cannot make any changes to this particular product. We cannot make any changes. We cannot change even the color of this bar, or we cannot change it. Anything you cannot do that. Nothing you can do that. But when it comes to the open sources, they are going to be free to use. So no need to pay any money. It is free to use. As well as we know that Windows, we cannot distribute it. You can use it. For example, if you buy the license, you can use it, but you cannot distribute it. You cannot sell it to some other person as your product. But open sources are not like that. They are free to use, and even we can distribute it also. Distribution means you can share that particular software with anybody without any paying any licensing for that. You do not require any licensing for that particular applications. Free to use and free to distribute. So if you want, we can make the changes. So if you don't want the functionality like that, do you want to change it? You can change the functionality. So what the Python is saying is, we are directly giving the source code to you. You can directly take the source code. You can make the changes if you want and sell it to somebody if you want. You make some changes as it is the source code. If you, for example, if you've taken the Python source code, this is some source code is going to be there from the Python. You cannot directly sell this. If you directly try to sell this particular source code to some client, the client is not ready to buy it from you. Why? Because it is the same source code which is available from the Python at a free of cost. So why the client or why that particular end user is going, the user is going to buy the software? You make some changes, make some lot of changes. So what are the main troubles? What are going to be the main, what are going to be the complexities are there? So you can identify that particular complexities and avoid them and add some new features and release it as your own product. Yes, they are ready to, the clients are ready to buy your particular product actually, because you've done some changes to that particular source code. So open source is nothing but it's a free to use and it is going to be free to distribute. No limitations are there. Like this, if we talk about, there are so many other features are going to be gets coming actually, guys. So technical, I'm not talking about that, but a few concepts I'm talking about that. So easy to use and easy to implement, easy to learn, which is going to be nothing but anybody for any purpose it can be used. It is an open source language. So we'll directly get the source code. If you want, you can use it at free of cost. And if you want, we can just sell that particular code to somebody also if you want to distribute it. So from where you have to download it actually, guys, we have to download it from www.python.org. Hope all of you have an idea actually, guys. Generally, we are going to end with .com. .coms are nothing but the commercial companies, Microsoft.com, Google.com, Oracle.com. So these are all going to be some kind of an commercial companies. But these are going to be open source communities, guys, like www.python.org, which is going to be, we are having the other one of the very popular community, which is going to be the Apache. Apache is also going to be an open source community, guys, which provides a lot of frameworks. They don't expect any money. They don't want to they don't want to earn the money. Actually, they want to do some kind of a contribution to the society. So it is like some kind of a non-profit organization, like an NGO. It is going to be working. They don't expect any profits. They don't expect any money from their applications. They want to contribute something to the society, actually. So such kind of an, which is going to be open source community. Same as it is if you are, R is also an open source. That is also going to be developed by two professors at one of the university in Auckland. They developed it, actually, which is going to be the same, which is going to be what we can call it as the open source community it is. Like that, there are going to be a number of features we are going to be talking about that. Mainly one more topic if I talk about that. It's a little bit technical concepts, guys. Right now it is not required, but later I'm going to tell you. Python completely works based on the object-oriented style of programming, guys. It is object-oriented style of programming. So what is object-oriented style of programming? Object-oriented style of programming means, which is going to be like something like a Java. So Java is a completely an object-oriented programming language. Oops, what we call it as. Python is also an object-oriented style of programming, guys. We have to follow that particular notation. So there also we have to follow some notation, actually, guys. Class, object, okay, class, object, method, attributes. Only these terminologies only we are going to use this, actually, guys. Mainly these are the four terminologies, guys. Very frequently we are going to use it in Python: class, object, method, attribute. These are the some of the four, the basic, the terms which we are going to use very, very frequently in the Python, actually. So because Python also follows the object oriented style of programming only, we are going to follow it, actually, guys. That is the another feature what we can see. Later I'll tell you guys what is object oriented style. When you go to the practical applications, we are going to talk about that. So once again, just I told you about some 3 or 4 points. Now let us talk about one small technical, there are some technical concepts are there, actually, guys. We don't want to go into them, but I'm going to tell you some few features, actually, guys. Python can be easily integrates with other languages, guys. Integrates with any language, we can integrate it with any language. Almost all it is going to be integrates with any kind of a language, it is going to be integrates. You can directly write, guys. I can directly write a Python code in a Java code. In a Java code, we can write the Python code, actually. It can easily integrate it. Okay. But anyhow, sir, how can you write a Python code inside a Java program? How it is possible? So anyhow, that is possible. But for that, we have to require a separate types of compilers we have to require, guys. A compiler which can understand both the Java and which is going to be the Python code, it has to understand. For example, your Java compilers will be there. Your Java compilers can understand only the Java code. They cannot understand the Python code. So whenever we require some kind of an integration, there is going to be a separate compilers will be there, actually, guys. Like for example, if you want to write the Java code and along with that, I want to write a Python code, you have to require a compiler called as N, which is going to be JPython. Now it has become Jython. It has been nothing but Jython. We are working with Python, guys. Python means only Python code only, isn't it? So, but there is something called as a Jython. Jython is going to be nothing but where we can write a Java code. Along with the Java code, you can write a Python code, actually, guys. Like that, if you have multiple compilers are there, actually, guys. .NET plus Python if you want to do, guys. Then we are going to be having another Python called as, which is going to be Iron Python, actually, guys. Ruby Python is there, which is going to be PyPy. Like that, there are going to be a different Python flavors and Python compilers are there. What they will do, guys, they will allow you to integrate Python with any language. Just an example I'm telling. If you want to write a Python along with the Java code, you have to use a Jython compiler. If you want to write a Python code along with the .NET program, we have to require something called as an iron Python is going to be required. If you want to see, you can see it, guys. If you want, you can see it, guys. You can download the Jython compiler, guys. Say which is going to be Jython. Previously, it is called as a JPython. Now it has been called as an which is going to be Jython. Can you see, guys? Jython versus Python. Go to the jython.org. From there, you can get it actually, guys. So what is going to be Jython? You can see it actually, guys. You can see it actually. So Jython is an implementation of the Python programming language designed to run on the Java platform. The implementation was formerly known as a JPython until 1999. Okay, it was developed it actually, guys. Do you want to see? You can see it actually, guys. Jython home, what we can see it actually. The Jython project is going to be providing some implementations of Python in Java. Provides to Python the benefits of running on the JVM. This is how they will write what are the Python code they will write it actually, guys. So Python code in the Java application and the Java in the Python application, what we can see that Java in the Python application, guys. But for that, we have to require a separate kind of a compilers, which is going to be what we can call it as the Jython, Iron Python, PyPy. It is going to be Ruby Python. Like that, we have a different types of compilers are there. So we uses a different implementations of that we have to use it. So that is not required because we never write those kind of an applications. So Python can integrate with any language, or Python also allows you to embed the other languages into Python also. So it can be embeds other languages. Python also integrates with the other languages also. It can integrate very easily. Like that, we can talk about some of the features actually, guys. Now I'm going to talk about one small technical definition, guys. Have a look at this. Very simple. I'm talking about them, guys. Very simple to use, very easy to learn. And apart from that, it can be used by anyone for any purpose it can use. No need to pay any money for that. It is an open source language. And apart from that, it follows some object-oriented style of programming. And there can be easily integrated with some other languages. All these are some of the features. One of the main technical definition I'm talking about, or a technical advantage I'm talking about, is it's a dynamically typed language, guys. It's what we call it as dynamically typed language. What do you mean to say a dynamically typed language? What do you mean to say about a dynamically typed language? What is about a dynamically typed language is going to be nothing but, we all of you know it actually, guys. One of the main headache, one of the major headache in most of the programming languages. So obviously everyone who has been learned any programming language, we used to find out like, and it is a big headache, that is declaration of variables. The main headache is, guys, declaration of variables. So we have to declare the variables actually, guys. Mainly we have to declare the variables. Every variable you want to use it, you have to declare it. Declaration is nothing but, we all of you know that, guys. We have to define some kind of a memory allocation has to be gets done. Unless and until you don't declare, no memory allocation is get done. If no memory allocation, we cannot represent any value, we cannot store the values. But Python is an dynamically typed language. What do you mean to say dynamically typed language means, guys? No declaration of variables. One of them, a big relief to the developers, guys. No declaration of variables. Because in other programming languages, one of the major headache will follow. The major headache is integer I is equivalent to 10. Throughout the program, you have to use I as an integer only. If you want to assign I equal to 100, I equal to 200, I equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, I equal to minus 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you try to assign A equal to A, B, C, D, immediately it throws an error. Why it is an error? Why? Because we all of you know that. Because here this particular value is going to be declared already as an integer. So we cannot assign, we cannot take it like a string. But in Python, you don't face this problem, guys. In other languages, we have to know compulsory, we have to know the conversion concept. If you don't know the conversion concept, typecasting or conversion concept will say that. If you don't know that, we cannot handle the situations. We cannot handle it. But in Python, one of the major headache is going to be is avoided. No declaration of variables. So do you mean to say that, you may get a question, sir, do you mean to say that Python does not support data types? No. Python supports data types, guys, but data type is chosen dynamically by the Python. That's why dynamically typed language. That is one of the feature actually, guys. Dynamically typed language. So what is dynamically typed language? No declaration of variables. You said directly I equal to 10, accepted. Immediately you said I equal to ABCD, that is also accepted. Immediately you said I equal to 10.25, immediately that is accepted. Anything is accepted, guys. I equal to, for example, true, that is also going to be accepted. In first case, it will be treated as an integer. Second case, it will be treated as a string. Third case, it will be treated as a float. And fourth case, it is going to be treated as a bool. Directly, guys. No need to specify anything. Python chooses the data type. Don't think that Python does not support data type. Python supports data types, but no need to work on them. You need not to work on them actually, guys. You need not to worry on that. You need not to just concentrate on that. Take the value, whatever the value you want to take it. But other languages are not like that. Before you are giving a value, first of all, we have to confirm whether it is a what type of data type. If it is something different data type, we can't assign these values. But here it is not like that. 100% confidently you can assign I equal to 10. Immediately you said I equal to ABCD. Immediately you said I equal to 10.25. Immediately you said I equal to true. It will works. Because why it is possible? Why? Because it follows an object-oriented style of programming. We'll discuss how the memory allocation will take place. All these things we are going to discuss about that. Okay. So that is the idea of how we are going to be gets working. These are some of the features actually, guys. These are going to be some of the features. Still some more features are there actually, guys. These are going to be some of the features actually. If you talk about some of the feature called as an interpreted based language. So interpreted based language, what is meaning of interpreted based language, guys? You need not to write like a program. So when you're writing a Java program or C program, we'll write some .java, we are going to write .c, and after that we are going to write the program, main method, save the program, compile the program. All these are not required, guys. It is an interpreted based language. Interpreted based language means you need not to write like a program, guys. You write it like a script, statement by statement. Just write by statement, guys. Statement by statement, it is going to be gets executed. So we can talk about the other feature also actually, guys. Interpreted based language. So the Java and all these things that are called as an compiler based languages, guys. This is going to be not a compiler based language. It is going to be the interpreted based language, guys. So interpreted based language means you need not to write any program like a .py file, or it is not like a .java file. We need not to write it actually, guys. It is an interpreted based language where it is going to execute a statement by statements. Executed statement by statement execution is going to be taken place, guys. Executed statement by statement execution is going to take place. That is what we are going to call it as an interpreted based language. So there is another feature is there. That is going to be the main feature of Python I have to discuss. Anyhow, I'll discuss it later. But before just going to that, let us clarify this actually, guys. So let us clarify all these particular features actually. Let us ask. Just a second. Right. So let us ask the features of Python. So I told you now, guys, Google search. So instead of using the Google search, we started using the Jdbc. So everyone knows about that. One of the recent, which is going to be the invention. One of the success story of AI is going to be your Jdbc. It's a language model which can interact with you just like a normal, like a natural, like a humans. It can interact with you actually, guys. So this is going to be a Jdbc. You can ask it actually. Already I have been asked a lot of questions here. Even that questions also will be there, guys. So just a second. Maybe just a second. Back propagation. Maybe somewhere it is missing. Okay, no problem. So let us ask it, guys. What is going to be features of Python? Normally, if you ask what is going to be the features of Python, it is going to tell you like a chatbot. Like a chatbot, it is going to comes actually, guys. Okay, see guys, whatever the points I have been got discussed with you, the same points actually, guys. Just only thing is random. That's it. Randomly there is going to be. So whatever I specified is going to be a different order. Whatever it is saying that it is a different order actually, guys. Just 1 or 2 points maybe does not matches with them, but we can see the remaining things as it is, guys. I can explain you. Right. Have a look at this one, guys. So some of the features, if I talk about that. So Python is a high level language. You know that, no, guys, high level language and low level languages. High level language means which users can understand, the programmers can understand, and humans can understand. Low level language means which system can understand. It's a high level interpreted language known for its simplicity, readability, and versatility. Here are some of the key features of the Python actually, guys. So one is easy to learn and easy to read. As I told you, Python code is very easy to learn and very easy to read due to its simplicity syntax and straightforward coding style. This makes a great language for beginners to start with that. Dynamically typed language, guys. What is meaning of dynamically typed language? Means that the data types are going to be inferred at a runtime. Inferred means it will automatically chooses at the runtime rather than declared explicitly. Instead of you declaring it explicitly, this allows for greater flexibility in coding and reduces the amount of code needed. You know that when you're writing a big program, main code is going to be part of the declaration part only, but all these are not required actually, guys. The next one is going to be nothing but you can say interpreted. As I told you, Python code is executed line by line by an interpreter rather than a compiled into a machine code beforehand. This make it easy to test and debug the particular code and allows for quick, which is going to be prototyping is very easy. And which is going to be cross-platform. Cross-platform is I told you, no, it is going to be integrates with any kind of a language actually, guys. Python code can be run on multiple platforms, including Windows, Macs, and Unix without any modification. A cross-platform, what we can say that. I'll tell you what is large standard libraries. I'll tell you an object-oriented programming style of programming, as I already told you. And there are going to be so many, some kind of a high-level data structures are there. We'll see them, high-level data structures. We'll see technical aspects actually. Open source. Python is an open source language, which means that its source code is going to be freely available for anyone. Use it, modify it, and distribute it. And even it can be extensible actually, guys. Python can be extended with the modules and the packages written in other languages such as C and C++. We can extend them actually, guys. So which are going to be powerful for scientific computing and data analysis, they will be used. I'll tell you what are third-party libraries we are going to be having. Just 1 or 2 points, except that remaining points are the same as I discussed actually, guys. Okay. So I had to discuss about some more points actually. Mainly we have some 10-15 minutes discussion is there. So once if I done that, then I can start with the Python implementation. I can start with them, guys. Okay. So this is going to be all about some introduction part to the Python actually, guys. Okay, not yet completed. So we'll see the remaining part on the next class actually, guys. So just before ending the session, any questions, guys? So guys who has been joined for the today's class, if you have any questions, I can just take up 1 or 2 questions and they can end up the session, guys. Anyone, any questions if you have? No one? Okay, guys. So just for today, we'll end up the session, guys. And one more thing, guys. Yeah. So almost all the demos and all this, as Alex just explaining. So almost all the demos and everything is completed, guys. So the main classes are going to be starting. Already we started also. So the thing is like one of the main thing is, guys, registration, guys. So maybe from Monday onwards, the link will changes actually, guys. Because being we have already done with the demos, right? So the link may changes. Anyhow, my team will update you. Okay. So who has going to be done the payment? So you have to complete of your who has not yet done the payment, guys. So please complete your all the payment process, all these things by the next class. So if you can just complete it, you will get access to the drive and all these things will be immediately starting, guys, so that you can have the work. Because from next class, I'll start with the practicals, guys. You can also practice. We'll get all the recording videos and all these things. Immediately we'll get the access from the drive once the registration process is done, guys. So please coordinate with my backend team. So if you have any issues with the payment or if you have any doubts, clarifications, if you have anything, so please coordinate with my backend team, guys. Okay. So before the next class, if you complete of all the registration process without having any delay, you can just continue. You can start learning actually, guys. So only for the first week, we don't have a class on Saturday, guys. So tomorrow you don't have a class. Tomorrow and after tomorrow you don't have a class. Only for the first week generally, 1 or 2 weeks, guys, because we don't want to start with the immediate with the more concepts. So already done with the demos, right? And we already just started with the Python introduction. So next class will be on the Monday session, guys. So we'll start with some basic practicals on the Python applications. I'll start with them, guys. So tomorrow and after tomorrow don't have a class, guys, only for the first week. From next week, we will be having mostly, we'll be having the Saturday sessions. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks, you may not have it, but after that, we'll have a 6 days a week classes will be there, guys. Okay, fine. So just for today, I'll stop it here, guys, and we'll continue on the Monday's class, guys. Okay, so thank you for today. I'll see you all of you on the Monday's class, guys. Thanks for today, guys.